We don't smoke marijuana in Muskogee. We don't take no trips on LSD. We don't burn no draft cards down on Main Street. We like living right and being free. Good morning, everybody. This is Christy in Oklahoma. I've got something for you today. I was talking to a coworker, and she told me about an incident with her uncle. And anyway, at first I was dismissive of whether that was something I wanted to talk about, but then I was like, there's something there, and I need to look into this some more. So anyway, want to start out by telling you all, well, let me get to this first. I know some people don't like my little side trails and everything, but I just got this book, and I'm trying really hard to read it, but my attention span is like this big, and so trying to sit and read without falling asleep, and then, you got all the other stuff around the house you got to do. So I'm trying to read it. But anyway, now to get to my story, or to get to the main thing. 1.67 million acres in Oklahoma are owned by foreign nationals. A small percentage of those are Chinese communists. Because of the legalization of marijuana and no caps on amounts, Chinese set up straw ownership at grow facilities. Problems arise when the authorities realize that this person's got too much product for them to sell legally in a certain amount of time. So they kind of draw attention. These facilities have brought in a new wave of violent crime in Oklahoma. 3,000 of Oklahoma's 7,000 licensed marijuana farms have been flagged for suspicious activity. You remember a few months ago I talked about the how the cartels were setting up shop on some of the Native American reservations, and so that's what, when I sat and thought about it, that's the reason why I wanted to talk some more about this subject, is because our governor is trying to limit foreign land sales in the state of Oklahoma, but when you've got all the other states just going along with everything, it kind of creates a problem. But like I said, they set up these straw businesses where somebody like me or some other person with a clean record goes in, and they get the money from the CC, and they set up shop, and then they move product all over the country. And I got to thinking about whether or not all that was connected to the thing going on with the reservation. And I had a fiasco with the printer. I was going to tease y'all and say I'm going to read the whole darn thing, but I'm just kidding. But anyway, from California to Maine, Chinese organized crime has come to dominate much of the nation's illicit marijuana trade, an investigation by Propublica and the Frontier has found. Along with the explosive growth of this criminal industry, the gangsters have unleashed lawlessness, violence, drug trafficking, money laundering, gambling, bribery, document fraud, bank fraud, environmental damage, and theft of water and electricity. Chinese organized crime has taken over marijuana in Oklahoma and United States, said Donnie Anderson, the director of the Oklahoma Bureau of Narcotics and Dangerous Drugs, in an interview. Among the victims are thousands of Chinese immigrants, many of them smuggled across the Mexican border to toil in often abusive conditions at farms ringed by fences, surveilled cameras, and guards with guns and machetes. A grim offshoot of this indentured servitude, traffickers force Chinese immigrant women into prostitution for the bosses of the agricultural workforce. And my belief is that this happens to the missing Native American women and other women across the country. The mobsters operate in a loose but disciplined confederation overseen from New York by mafias rooted in southern China, according to state and federal officials, known as triads because of an emblem used long ago by secret societies. These criminal groups wield power at home and throughout the diaspora and allegedly maintain alliance with the Chinese state. Oklahoma has become a top supplier of illicit weed although street prices fluctuate and calculating the value of a black market is complex. Officials estimate the value of the illegal marijuana grown in the state at somewhere between $18 billion and $44 billion a year. State investigators have found links between foreign mafias and over 3,000 illegal grows, and they say that more than 80% of the criminal groups are of CC origin. Again, like I said, I wanted to go down a rabbit hole and see if these were associated with what I told you about a few weeks ago about the reservation. And anyway, I found out that on some reservations, cartel, whether that be Mexican or Chinese, have formed relationships with indigenous women as a way of establishing themselves within the communities to sell drugs. The biggest drug is the fentanyl, but like I said, the MJ is a big part of it too. These CC people lure Native Americans with the drugs and get them addicted, get them hooked on it, and then they're indebted to the cartels. Like I said, I found this article, and I had a foobar where I ended up printing the whole thing instead of the select pages I needed. But anyway, I'll just read a small excerpt. The FBI is working with the Bureau of Indian Affairs, and but they have limited staffing, and anyway, it's hard to get things moving. I've never seen anything like that in my 22-year career, says Chief Francisco. Never would we have worried about this magnitude of an operation right under our noses. When Navajo police responded to complaints, the workers told them they had permission from the landowners to farm there. It turned out that 33 Navajo farmers had signed agreements to sublease their land to people like Benali and Chinese investors. Like the migrant workers, many Navajo were suffering income losses during the pandemic, and these native investors were paying cash. The farmers provided official-looking provisional cannabis cultivation licenses issued by Benally's Farm Board. Like I said, I won't make you suffer through the whole thing, but I just wanted to bring it to your attention. There's more to this crossing of illegals into our country than just from Mexico. As you all already know, I'm probably preaching to the choir, but anyway, I just thought that was interesting to see. And you know, my heart goes out to these families that are missing loved ones, and especially when it comes to women, my heart is for women and against the victimization of women. And so anyway, it just like I said, I wanted to bring this all to your awareness, that there was so much more to the story than what sometimes we get told or sometimes we realize. But anyway, I love you all, and I'll talk to you all later. There's like stuff happening just about every day, sometimes several times a day. So y'all stay frosty and stay on top of working and getting your yard ready. This whole thing with the bridge is going to put a big dent in a lot of stuff going across the country. So y'all stay frosty. I love y'all.
No.